Hey everybody, it's Jesse again from Jaguar Sharks, here with another Patreon-only re-upload to public viewing. So this is one that was just a fun little one-off that me and Seth did back in 2021. Maybe it's even 2020. Honestly, I can't quite remember. I'll put the date in when I put the upload up. This was an episode we did pitching a Letterkenny movie. I was a big fan of Letterkenny. Friend of mine up in Pennsylvania, they got me into it just randomly when me and my ex were going up there to visit every now and again, and we really got into Letterkenny because they had a migraine one day and we decided, let's just watch Letterkenny all day long, and I absolutely loved it. I did fall off of it as the series went on. The stories got worse and worse, and I think I watched the last few scenes of the last episode, and I never finished the series. But yeah, for a while, me and Seth were just constantly into Letterkenny, and we just thought, hey, let's pitch a movie. Let's just do a one-off Patreon only. Hey, let's pitch a Letterkenny movie, and we'll just have fun with it. It was a fun little one-off episode. Had a great time with it. Simple little thing. So we figured we'd make this viewable to all the public. So here you go. This is mine and Seth's pitch for a Letterkenny movie. Enjoy.
You're an idiot.
Pump the brakes.
Well, come on, kitten. I won't tell anyone.
Oh, pitter patter. Let's get at her.
Welcome to a very special episode. This is why you pay for the Patreon, because you get stuff like this. It's me and Jesse today. Mm-hmm. The reasoning for this episode is it was going to be a film rescue. We were going to partner up with another podcast that I like called How Are You Now podcast. Jesse and I are big fans of a very underappreciated show called Letterkenny.
Yeah, it only recently, like a year or two ago, finally started to get the attention it deserved.
Yeah, they got a deal with Hulu and it popped onto Hulu, and I think they dropped like the first 5 seasons just dropped them on there.
All of them just landed on there, and everyone was like, "What is this?"
Yeah. So I'm familiar with what's the name of it? Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Which is another Canadian comedy series. That one's very crass.
Yeah. But it's much more well known because I think they have a deal with Netflix.
Right. Yeah. They've received their popularity, and so when Letterkenny popped up, I was like, oh, okay, I think I understand what this is. But after watching season 1 and 2, it is, wow, just such a unique show.
I know. It's like, I saw it, I first got into it because I went up to see a friend of mine up in Philadelphia, my friend Kat, and they, she was having a migraine one day, and so we said, okay, we're just going to stay in and we're going to watch Letterkenny. And I was like, what is Letterkenny? And so she I think her and her roommates threw on a couple episodes, and I was like dying on the floor laughing.
Oh, yeah.
This is a show that was made for me because I love very, very fast, very quippy humor, but it's incredibly well written. Like this show is, it's stupid, yet at the same time, it's intelligently written, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's that the 4-quadrant thing. It's a dumb show for smart people, like Futurama.
Yes.
The humor is very like low. I don't want to say lowbrow, but it's very accessible humor. But then the way that it's written, so they start every season off with this alphabet game that is just, man, so it's like poetry.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it other than you just need to watch it. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible monologue that Jared Keeso does, and maybe that's a good jumping off point for the incredible talent that is Jared Keeso.
Oh, yeah. This guy, I had never even heard of this guy, and I'm watching him on this thing, and I'm like, God, this guy's really good. Why is this guy not having more popularity? And then I found out he was actually in the 2014 Godzilla movie for like a scene.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then after watching him in Letterkenny, that's why I wrote him as Bloodshot in my pitch of Bloodshot, because he literally looks like the character from the comics off the page.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they have the same fucking hairline. And so I was shocked to see and he's also in incredibly good shape.
Yeah.
But he's also
Yeah.
very talented as a writer. He created this show with his friend. What's Glenn's name? I should have the Wikipedia page open.
I do have the Wikipedia page up.
What's Glenn's
Jacob Tierney.
That's it. The two of them are like best friends, and they put together this show because they were out of work at the time. And so he got together with a bunch of his friends, and they started doing this thing on YouTube called, Letterkenny Problems. It was a small YouTube bit. It was like 5-minute episodes.
It started as a Twitter. It was
That's right. It was a Twitter, and people would pitch like random ideas.
Right, and I don't even think it was Letterkenny. It was the actual town that he's from initially, and then they like invented Letterkenny from the Twitter.
Yeah, there is an actual Letterkenny in Canada, but it is not the place that they film it.
Right. It's Listowel, Ontario.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So just incredible process to me that it's just. I don't know if you've watched any of the behind the scenes stuff. Jared writes everything. He writes every episode, and then Jacob directs everything. The character Glenn, the definitely super gay youth pastor.
Yes, and he's not gay in real life, but he plays a very good gay person on this show.
It is.
He's a gay man that's trying to pretend he's not gay,
right?
Which is bizarre.
It's super whiplash when you see Jacob like talk in his normal voice compared to doing the Glenn voice.
Yes.
It is like, oh my god, who is this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah. So the seasons are short. The episodes are short. It's like 8 episodes, 20-minute cap episodes.
Yeah.
So you can crush the show in like a day.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Well, it's worth noting that once they wound up on Hulu, the seasons got a little bit shorter. They stopped doing the one-off special shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is bizarre. It's like I really like the Valentine episode, the Christmas episode was really fun. They did a lot of themed like one-off shows that were sort of meant to bridge the seasons between like season 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. They would drop in a special one-off episode, and they would put that at the back end of the season when you put it on Hulu. But once they got put onto Hulu, they stopped doing those. And I don't know if it was a stipulation by Hulu's contract or something like that, but the seasons dropped to like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I'd even say the quality of the show kind of drops a little bit. Like the opening of the most recent season, for the first 2 episodes, I think I laughed maybe twice. Yeah, I'd say the most recent season, except for like the back half of the season, I didn't laugh much, and I don't know if that's Jared Kiso's fault or if it's Hulu's fault, but it definitely feels like there's some kind of there's more fingers in the pot.
Yeah.
I mean, shows when they go this long, even when the seasons are short, it feels like you're kind of running out of ideas.
Right.
Yeah, but those first like 5 seasons are fantastic.
Yeah. The season 8 switched. Jacob Tierney got other work, so Jared Kiso took over directing, so he was writing and directing everything for season 8.
That's what it is then.
Yeah, you can tell that they're a good team, and I think they strengthen each other's weaknesses.
Yeah,
Jared's a great writer, and then I think that Jacob really knows how to like pull the comedy out, whereas season 8 really got story focused. Like it's very much
it's about
story focused.
It's about Wayne trying to get over his heartbreak of seeing his girlfriend cheat on him, and then he kind of mopes for the first like 2 episodes, and it's not really funny. It's kind of just kind of dour and depressing. There's a few good callback moments. We're talking about Squirrely Dan getting a prostate massage.
Oh God!
I was just watching that clip just now, and I'm just like, when Squirrely Dan talks about getting a prostate massage and how he enjoyed it, and it's just like, oh God, this is the funniest shit in the world. And Jared Kiso and oh God, what's
Derry.
Derry. God, why did I forget Derry? Yeah, yeah, Wayne and Derry. Jared Kiso plays Wayne. Wayne and Derry, they stop playing catch with him, and they just start playing with each other. They just cut him out of the triangle of playing catch. Oh, it's great.
I do love how like effortlessly progressive the show is. Like it's not in your face about it, but it is very. I think it's almost reactionary to America. I think they look at us and they go, "Why are you guys having so many problems? This is so easy to do. Let me show you real quick." Like anytime I get into conversations about like toxic masculinity, and people go, "Well, how do you be masculine but not toxic?" And I go, "Watch Letterkenny." Wayne, Squirrely Dan, Derry are like the 3 different versions of masculine you can be. without being super toxic.
Yeah, Wayne is a tough guy. He's very strong. He's very capable. He loves sports, but he's also incredibly well spoken. He's very intelligent. He respects women. He respects equal rights.
Yep.
Yeah, he's an environmentalist in some ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like this. He's like what every American should aspire to be.
100%.
Yeah, like
he's like the best version of John Wayne. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like like you should. What's the phrase? Walk softly but carry a big stick. Mm-hmm. That's what Wayne is. Yeah.
He's got all these sayings. Like if a neighbor or a friend asks for help, you help them.
Yeah.
It's cut and dry. Like he might like butt up against his own rules sometime when he doesn't feel like it, but it's so cut and dry that he always does it. He always comes through. His character, not like the character of the person, but like the character of his personality is just everyone should aspire to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and not to say that the other characters in the cast are bad. It's like Katie is fantastic as Wayne's sister.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I have a huge crush on her.
Oh, how could you not?
Oh, exactly.
How could you not?
And I love the fact the show is immediately progressive from episode 1 because she's in a poly relationship with the two dude bros,
right.
Jonesy and Riley.
Right.
It's just great. I just love.
And they're both okay with it.
Yeah, they're both cool with it. Yeah.
I love it. Also, Jared Keeso plays another character on the show that may be my favorite.
Sharzy! God, fucking Sharzy.
That is an example of... So, the character Shorzy in the show, you never see his face. It's kind of like the neighbor from Home Improvement. It's Jared Keeso in a wig, essentially. But you only see his back while he's, like, taking a shit or working out or pissing upside down in the shower.
And it's Jared Keeso putting on a very kind of very high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
oh
fuck boys, I was like down here ripping ass, thought I'd rip some preps too. What the fuck you looking at, tit fucker?
The writing for his insults at Riley and Jonesy are just, I mean, god tier, and he delivers them so fast that by the time he gets to the punchline, you're still catching up with everything that he said.
It's like the dialogue in the show is like breakneck speed.
Oh yeah,
it's like it doesn't even stop to catch a breath. Like it's almost like the show feels like it's over edited and over tightened, but that's the point.
Yeah,
it's meant to be like fast, and so it's almost like the antithesis of something like The Office, where the comedy comes from sitting and watching the cringe.
Right.
Yeah, it's the opposite of something like The Office or Parks and Rec, where it's like you're kind of wallowing in the scene. This one's just like, no, let's get to the end. Yeah, it pushes through real fast.
Then you have your ancillary characters. So you have your main crew, which is Derry, Dan, Wayne,
Katie,
and then some of their friends from town, like
McMurray and
the McMurrays, Bonnie McMurray.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot that. Is Bonnie McMurray related to actual McMurray?
Yeah, it's his younger sister.
Oh, it's his younger sister. Okay. I just now realized that.
Yeah.
Didn't even catch it. They never they're never in the same scene.
No, I think there's one bar scene that they're in together where someone hits on her and then he gives like a glaring look at them. But yeah, they're not almost never in the same scenes together.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't get a chance for a rewatch of the seasons last night. I was a little occupied, but Seth watched his favorite episodes last night.
Yeah, I popped through on my favorite ones. The Halloween special I think is one of my favorites of all time. The talent show, another super favorite.
Jesus, the talent show. Oh God. What's the bartender's name?
Oh, Gail.
Gail. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Gail's character is
like creepy, rapey,
but
it's funny.
Oversexed. Yeah,
yes.
Just, I mean, and it's so funny. She if she were a dude, she'd be the villain in all the like Will Ferrell comedies.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But because she's like a black business owner and a woman, all the jokes come off as like, you're super fucking creepy, but I think I'd probably still keep hanging out with you because you're hilarious.
Yeah.
She runs the bar Modine's, and I think they're up to Modine's 3 now, right?
Yeah, they're on Modine's. Yeah, the bar, what is it? It got shut down. The first time it got shut down. Second time, didn't it like burn down, get robbed?
I want to say it was burned was last.
Burned was last, yeah. So the most recent one, they just rebuilt it. Yeah,
it got trashed the second time.
That's why it got trashed. That's right.
Yeah. Then so yeah, she's like one of the offshoot characters. You have Riley and Jonesy, which initially they were kind of like antagonist, and then they turned into like plot B protagonist with the hockey team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And when they eventually become like main characters in like the 5th or 6th season when they have to run the hockey team.
Yeah.
This show was really all about hockey because up in Canada, it's the national sport.
Right. They're all like genuinely great hockey players. If you watch any of the behind the scenes stuff, like Jared Kiso, Dylan Playfair, who's Riley, and Andrew Herr, who's Jonesy, they're all like genuinely good hockey players.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be when you're in Canada. It is the most Canadian TV show, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and what's weird is that you'd think that a lot of the comedy would translate, across the border to America, but it really doesn't have like a lot of Canadianisms really to it. Maybe like the accents are a little thick sometimes, but that's part of the joke.
Oh yeah, like there's regional stuff that goes over my head sometimes, sends me for a Google, and then I think anytime they go real hard into like hockey players and hockey history, that's where I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know anything about this. I assume this is hilarious, but I don't know anything.
Yeah, I don't know shit about hockey, so
right.
I know Ovechkin. That's all I know.
And then the other offshoot from the show is the excuse me. The I don't want to say crackheads.
The goths.
Yeah, they're like goth drug dealers.
Yeah.
You have
Stewart.
Stewart and then
Devin is in the first 2 seasons, but he ditches out. When does he leave? Like end of 2nd season.
Yeah, it was season 2 or 3.
Yeah. It's never really explained why he leaves within the show. He just kind of like disappears. But I think it's because the actor went to go get other work.
Yeah, and that's like, I think the whole point of the show is just to give all these people something to do until they get other jobs.
No, because the show is like so cheaply made. It's literally they just plop the camera onto a tripod just to have them film. Like you can tell that like between shots it's bright outside, but then you cut to the reverse shot, it's cloudy outside. It's like they're shooting fast.
Oh yeah. The only times that you can really see that they like went out and rented some nice equipment is for the fight scenes. At the anytime Wayne gets into a fight, it's all like super slow-mo, high quality, really, really well done stuff. But it's like it's so jarring sometimes that it's almost a spectacle. Like you can tell they were really ramping up to make sure this plays off well.
Yeah. It knows where to put its money.
Oh, 100%.
They don't really pay money for a lot of like guest stars or anything like that. It's basically just the main cast. There's like maybe there's a few other characters they add in, like the gay gym guys. I can never remember their names. I just think of them as the gay gym bros.
Yeah, that whole I love that storyline.
Oh god.
Then excuse me. The only like I don't even want to say it's like a big guest star. There's an Amish family,
the Dicks. The Dicks.
that lead to, so they're Amish and they're very innocent, but everything they say and the way they say it is a double entendre.
Yeah,
and it is hilarious. And the guy that plays the head of the Dick family is the rapper from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
that was.
So it's clearly a crossover between these two different shows.
Or no, they're Mennonites. They're Mennonites. They're not Amish. They're Mennonites.
Well, close enough.
I like to make the distinction because Mennonites can have electricity and Amish can't.
Okay, that's a very good point.
Yeah, so there just lots of. It's a really, really colorful show. When I first started watching it, I was suggesting it to people as like Canadian The Office, but it's not that really at all.
The Office is more like people it's kind of like cringe humor, embarrassment humor, secondhand embarrassment. This isn't really about that. It's more about very fast-paced, witty writing with a very particular goal in mind for what each episode is about. Like, I mean, I like The Office. I think it's fine. But if you told me to pick out like a favorite episode, I would say the episode where Kevin dumped the chili on the floor. And that's all I can think of. I think I know The Office more through memes than I do through the actual episodes of the show.
Sure.
Maybe the Bears beats Battlestar Galactica, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's early. That's like season 2.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's like all those episodes kind of blend together because the seasons are like, what, 20 episodes?
Oh yeah, 24.
It's
for
too
some of them.
long. Like that's why Letterkenny sticks with me, is because it's like seasons are shorter. They put more time and effort into each script rather than just. I like to refer to most sitcoms as shotgun writing. Just load scripts into a shotgun barrel, blast them against the wall, and maybe you'll get like a couple of hits here and there, but most of it's going to be kind of a miss.
Yeah.
So The Office is fine, but it's not really something I would actively watch, no matter how many streaming services it's available on.
Yeah. This show is sleek, and I think it does the social commentary as like social satire. I'm thinking specifically of another one of my favorite episodes that I didn't get a chance to watch last night. It's from season 1, Fart Book.
Oh, Jesus.
Where they essentially invent Facebook, but for like audio recordings of your farts, so they can then comment on all the bullshit that happens on actual Facebook, but through this like thinly veiled veneer of it's all just farts, guys.
That's not a favorite episode of mine, but I appreciated the sentiment.
Yeah, like that's the first episode that I watched that I was like, oh, there's background commentary happening here. I got it.
Yeah.
Because that through line kind of sticks through into the later seasons. I forget the which season it is, but there's a old Canadian TV show that Wayne loves to watch after a breakup. Mm-hmm. And it's got, one of those like repeating lines, and it's in hindsight a little more problematic than they remember, and they're commenting on like how sitcoms don't age well, which is then kind of turns into a commentary on the show itself. Really unique stuff happening, and like you're saying, that's how you can tell that the writing is just exactly what it needs to be, no more, no less.
Yeah, it's very fast-paced dialogue as well. I compare it a little bit to like Robert Altman's films, how the dialogue is very fast, and how like characters will sometimes overlap over each other, and it's just like a treasure trove of great dialogue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright does some of his dialogue that way. There's definitely like just the rush of the scene. The scenes aren't rushed, but there's a rush to like get to all the jokes within the conversation.
Oh yeah.
And it makes the group really believable too, that like the reason they are all friends is they're all thinking on this level, this like very, just back and forth, rattle things off, snap them off, make fun of other people. They'll go into these like name puns for just minutes and minutes of them, making puns off of names. I mean,
the first episode when Jonesy and Riley want to fight Wayne, and it's like you do a CrossFit, you can cross fuck off,
right? Stuff like that. It's just
like crazy, this like reversals of words. It's just like constant rewording of phrases, and it all fits together so perfectly. It's like it like I said, it feels like it's over edited, overwritten, but it's so fast you don't even notice it.
Yeah. There. Anytime we have friends over, or I guess we used to have friends over, don't have people over so much anymore.
Thanks, COVID.
So anytime we would have people over, and we would start to quote Letterkenny, because the whole like crew of roommates here watch all the seasons together when they come out. Because again, you can watch a whole season in a sitting, like easily.
Yeah, the episodes are only about like what 22, 23 minutes, something like that.
Right. Yeah. So like, and 6 episodes. I mean, you watch that many episodes of The Office in a sitting if you're that kind of person. Yeah. So we'll sit down and we'll watch the seasons together and then quote them at parties, and people will be like, "What the fuck are you quoting?"
Yeah.
And And the scene that we turn on to get people into Letterkenny is the scene where they're talking about porn noises.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta put a little pepper on it. Put a little pepper on it. Yes, yes, yes. That
I'm
scene.
still confused about the yes, 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 yeses. and it's like Katie, Wayne, Squirrely Dan, and Derry. They're all at the same time making weird porn noises, and it's just it's just like this one dolly shot from left to right, and you're just like, the fuck, this is perfect.
It culminates to just like the four of them just wailing away, making porn noises, and it is a perfect little just clip. And every time we show it, people are like, "Oh, I need to watch this show."
Oh, it's so good, so good. Yeah,
it is excellent.
Trying to think, it does drop in the later seasons, but I'd still say it's pretty good. Yeah,
the worst episodes of this show are still better than some of the best episodes of a lot of other shows that I've watched.
I agree. I'd rather watch this than any episode of Seinfeld after season 7.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think anything else to hit on. We hit the hockey is a big part of it. Oh, that's right. Jay Baruchel shows up in later seasons as an alt-right.
That was when the alt-right became super popular. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reaction, the culmination of that season is everyone showing up to beat the shit out of alt-right people.
That's just right, yeah.
Unapologetically, it's just like, nah, you guys are assholes. We're going to beat the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like disgustingly violent. It's just, kind of like brawl fighting. But people get their noggins rocked.
Yeah, it's one of those reactionary episodes, but it's appropriately reactionary.
Oh yeah, they were just performing what everyone wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly. I will say I do like the interaction with Wayne and McMurray, how they constantly can't. They try to start a conversation and they talk over each other, and there's like, Wayne, how are you doing? What? Good. How are you? Yeah.
The culmination of that joke in the later seasons when McMurray's like super frustrated, he needs Wayne's help. He walks up, he does every single back and forth line of the interaction, and then Wayne's just like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, I will say one of my favorite episodes is when I think it's season 7. Wayne is asked by Glenn to do a public access show about agriculture called Crack and Ag. And there's an episode where McMurray bursts into the TV station, and he says that he mismeasured his size of his penis. It's not 4.5 inches, it's 5.5 inches because you're supposed to measure from the bottom, which is not how you're supposed to do it. But he has all these people calling into the station just to rail on him for having a small penis.
Right. It is
McMurray's a piece of shit. What?
He's so shocked to find out that people don't like him.
I know.
And also that's a good segue into the lore of this show is 100% unexplained.
I know.
Wayne and Katie's parents, who knows?
Yeah, it's just never really said.
They don't even mention their parents. Like they mention like their grandfather and their uncle at different points. But like, who are their parents? Why are they the way that they are? We will never know. Just why does everyone think McMurray's a piece of shit? He's genuinely pretty nice to everybody. I mean, besides him being in like a very
open
relationship.
Yeah.
A little too open relationship.
Yeah, there's an episode where he invites Wayne and the whole group over to his house to sit in the hot tub, and he wants to have an orgy. So he's trying to convince them all to have an orgy.
Right. And they slowly make their way outside, which leads into a great, well-written scene of them talking about the different. It's like the thing in a heist movie where they mention like a location and then a dance move, like the Tennessee two-step or something like that.
The Irish exit, yeah.
The Irish exit. They all go around and they basically just build on top of each other. Of like, we should just split without saying bye is really what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
I love the zero explained background lore. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
Just no need. Why go in and explain this stuff? I don't need it.
It makes it funnier when you're just trying to guess what it is.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think anything else to touch on in the show. We've hit the highlights. If you're not convinced to go watch it, I don't know why you're here.
Yeah, it's worth the Hulu subscription. It is
100%.
That's what got me onto Hulu, and since then I've watched a bunch of shows on Hulu. Like Rick and Morty's on there, Devs is on there. There's good stuff.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, maybe we should do a Devs Patreon episode just so we can gaga over that for a minute.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah, I got to rewatch it though.
Yeah, me too. Now that I know what it's about, I want to rewatch it with that knowledge and
see how it feels.
Yeah. No spoilers for Devs though.
Yeah.
So the reason we're here is, like I said at the beginning, this was going to be a film rescue. We were going to partner up with another podcast. That just kind of fell through. But Jesse and I love Letterkenny so much that we had written a pitch for what a Letterkenny movie would be.
Yeah, it's different from most of my other pitches, which is that usually it's like a full like outline and treatment. I have just a general idea.
Yeah,
I figured we could just ping pong ideas off each other.
Yeah, we kind of like set the through line. We picked the plot point to hang the movie around, and then it was just what are the upgraded versions of the jokes from the show that you would want in a movie of this nature. Because like it's not often that TV shows get a spin-off movie, and when they do, it is 100% made for the fans. Like there's no universe where you put just a random Letterkenny movie into theaters and just everyone goes to see it. That just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was for some reason getting interested in the lore of the Halo game franchise recently. I don't know why. There's the film Halo Forward Unto Dawn, the prequel to Halo 4. Like, it's made specifically for the fans.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no reason anybody else would ever want to watch that.
Right.
But it's made for the fans, and it's not a bad film. It's okay.
Yeah, or like if Community got its movie.
Yeah,
again,
the
that
6
would be
seasons in a movie if they finally got that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that being like straight to Netflix, straight to Hulu, something like that. What is Community? Is Community on Netflix now?
Yeah, it's on Netflix now. That's how it got a big jump in
That's
viewership.
Right. Yeah, because it was on Hulu, which is when we did our Community episode.
Yeah.
That's where I watched it, and then it made the jump over, which I'm still confused as to how that happened, because the last season was Yahoo.
Yahoo TV went out of business. That folded.
Okay.
That folded. And they said, well, it's all Community. We'll just pay for the rights to everything. So
Interesting.
Plus,
I was expecting
Community is going to draw people over to Netflix because hey, it's Community on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
And Joel McHale's getting work now.
Oh yeah, he's working a lot.
I don't know what happened, but he is getting work. He's been in he was in that movie that I watched the other week that was Die Hard with a little girl, and then he's in the new Twilight Zone. It's just weird to see him getting work because there was a long period where it was like he did Community and he did The Soup, and then he had a sitcom for like half a season that got just dumped.
Yeah.
He was like an outdoorsman billionaire trying to start a tech company and knew nothing about it. So it was like Gen X working with millennials. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, our movie.
Yes.
Our framing device is they're building a hockey super dome.
Yeah. Well,
in Letterkenny.
The idea of it was that I said, the show feels a bit like a Robert Altman show in that there's a lot of characters that interact with each other and they cross paths constantly.
Yep.
Robert Altman's films like MASH or Nashville or Shortcuts, they always have a collective event that brings everybody together, and then they have a collective event that separates them at the very end.
Right.
I thought what opens the film is a giant snowstorm blows through the town of Letterkenny, and it causes massive damage, specifically destroying the hockey rink. So with the hockey rink now wrecked, they're like, well, now we have no hockey. Now what do we do? Letterkenny isn't known for anything unless we have hockey.
Right.
And so and happening parallel to this is that Wayne and Katie come into possession of a very large sum of money left behind by their uncle that somehow got misplaced through some kind of crediting error at the bank. So they have
It does have a precedent within the show because the Shark Tank episode is them coming into a windfall and wanting to invest it into the town somehow.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So there's probably money still lying around somewhere. So
100%.
apparently they find they come in possession of like 50 or $500,000, just a giant pile of cash. And so they say, well, you know what? Let's rebuild the hockey rink. So the whole town gets together, and the whole film is about them building the hockey rink. But then you have the opposing township not wanting them to have the hockey rink because their team would win if they didn't have any opposition.
Right.
They'd win by default. So they want to prevent it from being built.
Right. And this is where you anchorman it, and you have like really big Canadian names play like bit roles throughout your movie as any new characters. Like Jim Carrey as the mayor of the opposing town.
Yeah.
Sold.
Great.
You know, just sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the main through line is the main crew trying to get this hockey rink built and running into political red tape all along the way.
It's a very standard plot. Like you've heard this plot 10,000 times, but do it with the Letterkenny characters.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all it is. Like it's very standard. There's not a lot you can really do. You don't want to be too specific with your plot outline because you're trying to make it for the fans, but you also want to make it kind of accessible to anybody that would just be like, oh, Letterkenny movie. I'm just going to throw this on. Like, make it accessible to anybody.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, the film Serenity, not the terrible one we did. Go back and listen to that episode.
That movie.
Yeah. Fuck that movie. The Joss Whedon Serenity sequel to Firefly.
Yeah.
Which is technically a last episode of the series, not really a film that exists in and of itself, but it does exist in and of itself. It can. You can watch. I saw the film before I even watched Firefly.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I watched the TV show after seeing the film. So they can work independently, but it does help if they do work in tandem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and you've seen every single beat that the movie's going to land on, but I think the exciting idea behind it is you get the a skewed view of Jared Kiso writing his version of the all is lost moment when they feel like they're defeated and they're sitting in the studio. They don't know that they're on the air and they're just talking about how much Letterkenny means to them, and everyone around hears it, and all of a sudden, they rally behind them to take it into the home stretch of the movie. You've seen this before. You already know, but it's this version that you want to see. Then Riley and Jonesy are basically doing a get the team back together B plot. Yeah. And they're working as construction workers on site, and their foreman is Shorzy. Right. Because why not? Because that's going to lead to just the funniest. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Also, that also gives you a chance for Wayne to eventually run into Shorzy at some point, and just uses playoff himself. Just have that interaction to be like super respectful. They're like, "Oh, that's a great guy." Riley and Jonesy are like, "What the fuck?" There's a character from was it Star Trek Deep Space Nine named was it Morg? He's a guy that's always in Quark's bar. He never speaks. But the entire time that he's ever referenced in the show, the entire cast always says, "Man, that Morg, he never stops talking. Never stops talking." He's like it's like everybody we missed like 20 scenes, but the entire cast knows about something we don't. Right. So it's a nice little in joke where it's like, "Oh yeah, I get it." Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, and of course, like the jokes that Shorzy would throw at Riley is like shit. Like, what was the one that I had? It's like, fuck you, Jonesy. You know the difference between my penis and a nail gun? My penis nails your mom every fucking night. Fuck you, Shorzy. I love it. Yeah. And then we partnered Gail and Glenn. They want to they want to open like a concessions and bar in the new rink. They want to be the concessions people. Yeah, isn't it like alcohol is banned in the hockey arena or something like that? Right. So they're trying to get it unbanned. Yeah, exactly. For their own reasons, but they're basically going to be in competition with each other by the time the hockey rink opens. So they're allies out of necessity, but not that they're actually going to be, friendly once they get what they need.
Yeah.
Plus that pairing, the super Christian but like low key, really gay versus Gail, who's just gonna, her plan is to schmooze her way into she's just gonna bang her way to the top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. and the other idea I had was that we could bring Devin back into the fold. Because he just disappears at the end of season 2. It's never said where he goes. It says like, oh, he just disappeared. Did he leave town? Well, we don't know. Then he got replaced for a couple episodes, and they just kind of dropped that character role altogether, and Rold kind of took over.
Right.
But by the way, we have to mention that Rold was in RoboCop 2014.
Oh,
we forgot to mention that.
He was in that, and then I was watching a movie on Netflix the other night called Stillborn. It's like a very generic horror movie, but Riley, is that the one with the long red hair?
Yeah, Riley's the one with long hair.
Riley gets like a full like scene in that movie as a character at a Halloween party. It was just like he takes his mask off to speak to the main character, and it's like Riley. It was wild.
Great. That was great.
They got Letterkenny in my horror movie.
But yeah, it's like the character Devin just kind of vanished from the show, and so I said, well, what if we put him back in? What if we have the joke of he went to the hockey rink because he had a bunch of drugs stashed there in like the basement, and he got trapped in a room and he got stuck there.
Right.
Didn't realize, but then the something went wrong with the thermostat and he froze in there. So he's been like cryogenically frozen for like 4 other seasons, and then they find him after the rink has been destroyed. And they thaw him back out, and because he survived because he was so doped up to the eyeballs on drugs.
Right.
So he's been cryogenically frozen this whole time. It's a stupid idea, but is it any stupider than anything else that had happened in this entire show?
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's totally reasonable given the context. That's the gimme moment. Give me this one thing I can make it work.
Exactly.
It's just an excuse to get Devin back into the show for
100%.
Like 1 2-hour movie.
And then to basically have a D plot with the Skids. Did we say that we wanted the Skids to be like working against getting the hockey rink?
Yeah, they want to turn it into a concert hall, I think. They want to make the concert hall. That's right. They want to make the concert hall bigger so they can have their giant techno dance arena.
their EDM fests. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh man.
I love it. Did we ever pick something for the McMurrays to do?
I don't think we ever did. What can we have them doing?
That's a great question.
I mean, McMurray would probably be helping Wayne because he's kind of a construction worker.
Right.
But what would Miss McMurray be doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to like. I want to.
Maybe she'd work alongside Gail.
I could see it.
Yeah, like the two of them kind of work in tandem, sleeping their way to the top to try to get the alcohol unbanned.
Right.
Because she's in an open relationship. Gail is basically a whore. So they work great together. And then she's one of the people that does not leave the orgy.
Correct.
She and Glenn did not leave the orgy.
Correct.
So there you go.
They stuck precedent. Around. Then you could have McMurray and Glenn teamed up together for that like contrast. That could be hilarious.
Oh,
or another option, if you want, you could have them down in the Florida Keys and just like cut away from cold Letterkenny to just bright and colorful Florida.
Oh, here it is. They're on vacation in the Florida Keys, and they kind of just call Wayne just like randomly just to see how he's doing, and then he says, "Well, the hockey rink blew down," and McMurray goes, "What?" And he immediately just hard cut to him getting on an airplane and flying back to Letterkenny.
Right.
It's like, no.
Oh, you have it open with them setting up an orgy in Florida, but they're trying to follow COVID-19 rules. So they're like explaining, once you switch partners, make sure you get the hand sanitizer. Everybody wear your mask at all times unless you're going down on somebody. But in that case, make sure you're breathing downwards and not upwards. Like just convoluted rules.
Convoluted rules that make it completely unfun for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
People just start randomly leaving. They're just like, yeah, fuck this.
and then he gets the call.
And then he gets the call, and he's in his tiger print Speedo.
Right.
Doing this.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Oh God, this is the best.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of other Canadian actors that could have like cameos within
Let's
it.
look up Canadian actors real quick.
Because specifically, I was thinking of oh man, Seth Rogen, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, there you go.
You could have Jay Baruchel come back as like a reformed, or no, he went like opposite direction. He's like full Antifa now.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that has to happen. That has to happen.
The Keanu Reeves Wayne interaction, just like just full silence, just nothing but like respect as they look at each other, and then they walk away, and they both go like, "That's a real man," as they walk, like talk to their friends as they're walking in opposite directions.
Or he sees somebody in the distance like kick a dog, and he and Wayne team up to go kick the shit out of somebody.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
I love it.
Oh, it's the best. God, who else we got? Oh God, who else we got? Oh God, Tommy Chong. Yeah, we got to fit him in there somehow.
He in the Skids. It's got to be him in the Skids.
Him and the Skids. Yep, that's totally what's got to happen. Oh God.
You could have Dan Aykroyd's Canadian. He could pop in there. I feel like that's like his thing too. Is just playing these like straight-laced characters in other people's comedies, since he did all of his own comedies back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's true.
I could see it. Yeah, I just the cameo fodder runs deep.
Yeah. And like you could find clearly people are like fans of this show. So like,
oh yeah,
like Bruce Greenwood from was it Gerald's Game and the Star Trek 2009 film as Pike. Like he shows up as like a sleazy businessman that wants to just have the entire place bulldozed to put up like a shopping mall.
Oh yeah,
very standard 90s trope of like the greedy businessman wants to take over the town and gentrify it.
Oh, okay. Here's the joke you do. It's similar to the Anchorman scene where they all fight each other. You have it starts off where you think they're just doing the straight trope of, you know, sleazy businessman shows up to bring business to Letterkenny, and then in the middle of that meeting, you have sleazy industrialist shows up who wants to like turn it into a like, you know, oil mine, and then you have like the different sleazy tropes show up, and they all want to build something different in the spot.
Yes.
Just a growing like, oh, that's right. We've seen every single version of this in all these movies before.
But do it through the lens of Letterkenny, and it makes it interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just building on top of each other. Yeah, I love it. Also, I really want to meet Squirrely Dan's teacher.
Who would she be?
Yeah, like he references her all the time. That would be a good opportunity for a cameo, but I would. There's not many characters that are mentioned that I'd love to see. You could have
Catherine O'Hara.
There you go. Catherine O'Hara. Rachel McAdams.
Oh, no, I think she's a little too young.
Yeah, I guess. Oh man, I forgot Rick Moranis was Canadian.
Yeah, you never seen what is it, Strange Brew?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful little comedy. It's like a comedy skit that he did with a friend of his that they were like a little duo comedy troupe for a while. They got their own film. I think they talked about that on Red Letter Media on Review at one time.
Oh, interesting.
It's a cute film. It's not like amazing. It's not like groundbreaking, but it's very standard stuff. It's pretty good.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I the cameos that I'd like to see, just it would be so fun. Like it would add that like star element that I think if you hadn't watched Letterkenny and you saw the movie, you would want to know more about these like in jokes and you know, send people back to watch the show.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah, I mean, because they kind of got that with Jay Baruchel showing up, because he's clearly was just a fan. He was like, "Hey, can I be on an episode?" It's like that's clearly what happened,
right?
And so they just said, "Yeah, go ahead, show up, go on this episode. You want to play an All Lives Matter neo-Nazi? Yeah, I can do that."
Right?
Yeah. God.
Sure, no problem. The only other thing we need to figure out, I think, is Tanis and the Native American Reserve. Yeah, Native American. They're Canadian. The Native Reserve.
Yeah.
That crew, I think, needs something to do.
That's kind of a problem with doing a film like this, is that you kind of end up with characters that are shoved to the wayside. I'm really thinking about it, and I'm like, I think they're just like helping on the construction crew. They're kind of like the pull them out of your back pocket. Like,
right.
there's a problem in town. They need Joint Boy to show up with his buddy to like beat the fuck out of somebody. But I see them as that.
Sure.
I'm not sure what they could really do in the context of a film like this.
Yeah.
Some characters are just going to get shoved to the wayside. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, I'd like to see them
like
in
we
it,
don't
but
need
yeah.
we don't need the Dick family showing up in this.
Yeah, like they could show up at the end once the hockey rink is built, but they don't need like a thing.
Yeah. Like not every character is going to get like a time to shine, but to have them there would be a nice little thing. I can see them
exactly.
I can see like Joint Boy like getting high, like he can only do construction when he's completely blasted on weed. Like it's like when he does the spelling bee and his brain only works when he's completely high. And he burns through like 60 blunts.
That spelling bee episode is just so good.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. That encapsulates like everything about the characters, like all the way through and through, like what every person stands for and what their personalities are.
Right.
I think every major character is in that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that that it's the most intense competition in the town because the town is so good at like talking, communicating, and writing jokes with each other.
Yeah.
That like the peak would be a spelling bee.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how big is your vocabulary? What all could you talk about?
Yeah.
I love that. It's more intense than the hockey games. Like, really.
And we need. Oh, that reminds me. We need Coach showing up.
Oh yeah.
We need like Coach is like helping out Shorzy, and he's like working underneath Shorzy. And he's just like he's all pissed off about it, and he's just screaming in crap. He's like, "Fucking embarrassing!"
Just, I need one scene where the main characters are all frustrated, and then Coach runs in and kicks a trash can, and he's like, "Oh wait, wrong room."
He's not even part of the scene. He's the talent show when he just like is on stage and somebody is coughing and sneezing in the back of the room, and he freaks out. Somebody sets a trash can on the stage, and he just randomly kicks it.
I love that.
Oh man, it's so good. It's like like little things like that, like play into everybody's gag, play into everybody's strength, but do it in a way where it feels natural. Yeah.
Oh, the John Wick moment. I have like the sauce to sprinkle on that.
What is it?
So it's a couple skids, and they're throwing rocks at a puppy and a Canadian goose.
So McMurray can join in and because of the goose episode. Oh god.
So Wayne's John Wick moment is over a Canadian goose in trouble.
And John Wick is standing next to him, ready to beat the fuck out of somebody.
Right. Oh
that's
god.
Perfect.
I'm crying.
Oh god. Oh god. And then somebody screams out, "It's just," and like Stewart screams out, "It's just a puppy," and Keanu Reeves just goes, "It's not just a puppy."
It's never just a puppy.
Yeah, it's like great things like that, like playing into like being metatextual like that. Like it's
oh
almost
yeah.
Like, is it just me, or does it seem like sometimes the characters are aware they're in a TV show?
I think so.
The cold open sometimes where they're talking directly to the camera.
Right. So this is, if you ever want to pinpoint where The Office goes down, it's when they call attention to the fact that they're in a mockumentary or documentary or whatever.
Whenever they look into the camera.
Right.
Yeah, they say, "Oh, there's a camera crew watching this." Really? That camera crew's been around for 12 seasons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Letterkenny, when they talk to the camera, I feel like they're talking to the audience.
Yeah.
Versus in The Office, it's like it's supposed to be more like a video diary.
Yeah, they're talking to somebody off camera.
Right. Yeah. So they definitely know, or I guess there's maybe like a level within the show that they know that they're in a show, but then when they're interacting with each other or around town, there's no like real fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
But they will cut away to break the fourth wall in a different location with, like Wayne holding a puppy or something like that.
What's the name of the puppy that he got? What's the name?
Gus? It's not Gus.
No, it's not Gus. It's oh god, what is it named?
Well, are you talking about the?
Oh, no, his ex-girlfriend's dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I can't remember the dog's name.
Well, because he's got the German Shepherd that he's trying to get to have a litter of puppies, but then he's also got the hound dog that's inside that sits on his lap.
Oh yeah,
at the table.
Yeah.
Which
yeah. Who keeps shitting on the floor?
Right. That's how you open the movie. It's just them sitting at the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're sitting across from each other and they're just staring at each other.
Right.
Yeah. So you were out in the living room taking a shit the other day.
The other day.
But yeah, it's like, and also from like a marketing standpoint, you could have like a great promotional of like, there's alcoholic brew in the show named Puppers and also Gus and Brew that are not real, but they did make a few of them for like season openers, something like that. But you made them limited release. Like, you could like make that a good marketing tool for like how you promote the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because all the time, like Wayne is always drinking, but he never seems to get drunk, except for one episode where he's acting as a bouncer at a bar, at Gail's bar at Modine's. I think it's Modine's 2. And one of his friends comes in from out of town, and everybody in the bar gets drunk, and even Wayne kind of gets drunk.
Yeah.
When Wayne gets drunk, he laughs a lot. But it's a very annoying laugh, like, it's very, very annoying.
Yeah.
And then, like, he himself breaks out into a fight. Yeah, it's not the best episode, but it's a good one.
Yeah. That's the impressionist guy, right?
That's right, the impressionist. That's right. Yeah.
What a good time. Yeah, he doesn't really get drunk. I know they reference donkey juice a couple times, but they always show the hangover after. Like they never show the event of them drinking the donkey juice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where they like pour all the different leftover party alcohols.
Ugh. I have never in my life had donkey juice, and I have no intention of ever trying it.
I mean, nothing good can, like they say in the show, nothing good can ever come of mixing, leftover whiskey with schnapps and,
Ugh.
Yeah, I can't. Ooh, you'll definitely get drunk.
I can taste that in my mouth without even having to be there. Ugh.
Yeah. That's like, I don't know if this will resound with anybody else. I don't smoke. I did in high school and then quit. But sometimes if I get drunk enough and I'm around people smoking, I'll take a drag and then the next morning wake up and that is all I can taste in my mouth. Mm-hmm. It's that just like, ugh. Brushing your teeth doesn't fix it. It's just like, oh, why did I do that to myself?
You gotta wait for it to go away, yeah.
Right.
Not even mouthwash gets rid of it.
No, you gotta eat spicy food. That's my only go-to to get rid of it. Yeah, that's the Letterkenny the movie.
Yeah, it's very simple plot, and of course it ends with them playing hockey, and Shoresy is still being an asshole to Jonesy and Riley. That's the way you end the film. Everybody kind of walking away, but Shoresy becomes the head of the hockey team.
Oh yeah.
He anoints himself as head of the hockey team because he was in charge of basically rebuilding the whole thing. So the town kind of instills upon him being the head of the hockey team because he was like quote unquote in charge. And that just gets under Jonesy and Riley's and even Coach's skin.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the coach now, boys. That would be funny.
Yeah, that's the way you end it.
One of my favorite bits from the show is when they finally make it to like the big hockey team in Letterkenny, and it's the 5 guys that like say their bit and then they'll reference the next guy as they go down the line, and then it always ends with the big guy, and he's like, I love this like I love my wife.
Yeah. So
and,
what are their names?
Oh man, it's not even on the Wikipedia. I
Fisky, Boomtown. Oh God, what are they? I'm looking it up.
Go for it. Yeah, it's not listed out because they're not like main characters.
Yeah. God damn it. Oh, Bart's, Yorkie, Schultzy, Fisky, Boomtown.
There you go.
Yep, that's the ones.
Bart's is the one I can never remember because they never say his name. He's
They
the one
never
that
ever
starts
say
the
his
chain.
name, yeah, but it's Bart's, Yorkie, Schultzy, Fiskey, Boomtown. And Boomtown is like, he mellows out in the later seasons because I think his wife left him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's all depressed.
Yeah.
I love hockey like I love my wife. God.
Oh God, he's so fun. He reminds me of the guy that does the voice of Joe on Family Guy, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh God, what a great show. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I can't wait. They did get picked up for their next season.
Yeah.
As of last month, they got picked up for a 2020 season.
So sadly, they can't film right now, unfortunately.
I know. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they're in Canada. They might be able to film sooner than later.
What's weird is that like the show is so simple. Like there's
Yeah.
almost like no extras in the show except for like party scenes.
Yeah, like
It's
at
mainly
the
just the main
bar,
cast.
the bar's empty half the time when they're doing the bar scenes there
Yeah,
too.
no wonder the bar is always going under.
Right,
Like they're the only patrons.
right.
Like it even opens with like there's 5,000 people in Letterkenny. These are their problems. Like
Right.
there's 5,000 people in this town. And there's like one bar, but almost no one goes there.
Right. Well, because a lot of people there are home drinkers and off doing other stuff.
Yeah,
And
I mean, most people there are farmers, so they have to work all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we haven't even touched into like them going into the French speaking part of Canada, and that's just a cultural thing there that most Canadians can speak French as well, but
Yeah.
they don't speak it very often, so they're like they have bad accents and they're not good at it.
And it's not just that; it's also the Irish aspect of Canada, which is
Yeah.
what's part of the show. Is that like there's an Irish heritage that leads back, like the Irish and the French were the pioneers of the Canadian wilderness.
Right.
Yeah, so you have that to factor into the show. And us in America, if you don't know history of the French occupation of the Canadian wilderness, you're not going to understand that. But
Right.
it doesn't matter for the show. It's not really inherent to the plot. It's just
Right.
it's background.
And then like all the outdoor stuff that they do, they have the the snowmobiles and the little huts that they build to camp out in and
Or go fishing
or go fishing. Yeah. There's a lot of like there's so much stuff in the show for as short as the seasons are and for as little of show there really is. They touch on a lot of stuff that you can't really. We couldn't get to it all if we wanted to.
Yeah.
The main stuff happens around the farm, at their vegetable stand, or at the bar. That's like the two main locations of the show.
Yeah, or the hockey rink in the later seasons,
Or the hockey rink. Yeah.
or the gym as well. When
Oh, yeah.
when the gay gym bros show up and it's just they start hitting on Jonesy and Riley and they're like, nah, we're not really into guys, and they're just kind of like, all right, cool, you want to just hang out? Cool.
Yeah.
Like they're like the gay versions of Jonesy and Riley.
And then they have the sex around the world competition.
Oh yeah.
Which I love that as a thing, but it's even funnier to me that they're able to do it in Letterkenny, which has 5,000 people.
I will say, if you want to watch a really good episode, the Valentine episode, where they have to exchange compliments to each other, and just the gay guys are constantly like hitting on Katie, which is odd. But then she's constantly being taken aback. They're trying to like out sex talk each other, and she's constantly like, "Fuck." She's left speechless. She's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite one-off special episode. After that, I think they stopped doing them.
Yeah. I think Valentine's Day was the last one. Unfortunately, because those one-offs are so much fun. They don't move the plot of the show forward at all.
Yeah.
But like the St. Patty's Day party, where they're like it's basically the Hangover episode.
Oh yeah.
Where they're trying to recount what Derry did, and he's like the hero of the story, but he doesn't know why because he blacked out so early on.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's also worth knowing that, like, you can tell those episodes are meant to take place at the beginning of each season because the cold open shows snow on the ground, and then as the season goes on, the snow disappears. So those are clearly meant to be at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Also, they kind of switch back and forth too, because half of the seasons come out right before my birthday, which is just the best birthday present, and those seasons are the summer seasons, and then you'll get the winter seasons, like where they have the snowmobiles and all that kind of stuff, and those seasons tend to release in like December or October, when there is snow on the ground up there.
Yeah.
So they get a lot of mileage out of just shooting around what they can.
Yeah, and also the show is so cheap, and it's like there's almost like the shot setups are very simple. There's no. I think there's like one set of dolly track that they use, and it's just for the vegetable sand.
Yeah,
yeah. And there's a little bit of handheld during the fights, which happens at the end of certain episodes, but that's like all in slow motion, and it's so easy to do.
Right.
And then there's just static wide shots.
Yeah.
There's no close-ups in the show.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's
all wide.
Yeah, they go basically mediums if they're going to focus in on one person talking, but they pull back a lot. I think it adds to being an observer of Letterkenny. We don't need to get too close and personal, and that's kind of a running gag in the show. Is like no one really wants to get overly personal. Wayne never over explains anything.
Yeah, and it also leads into my thought, which is that the characters know that they're kind of being observed in a TV show.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You as an observer are kept at a distance.
Right, it makes sense. I don't want to ruin anything else. I think we've said enough that if you're not convinced to at least give seasons 1 and 2 a shot. If you're not into it, you're probably not going to get into it after that. But give those two a shot, and I think season 2 is really where they hit their stride, which is pretty normal for comedies. I think that I almost expect that now.
Yeah, I'd also say that the first 2 seasons are a little bit visually ugly.
Yeah,
because there's like clearly the budget did not go to the lighting department.
No,
Like there's a lot of shadows on people's faces. The colors are kind of washed out. As the series went on, they finally got a lighting department. So
right.
By season 3. The shows look really, really good. And very standard like TV lighting. It's fine. But there's some good visuals in there. And I think by season 6 or 7, like it looks very colorful.
Oh yeah.
They finally cranked the color back up. The contrast is much higher. So it looks very different from the first 2 seasons, which is kind of washed out, a little bit gray, kind of like British comedy shows, like
sure.
the British version of The Office, where it's kind of washed out. Or even like Spaced, the Edgar Wright show Spaced.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely that was a style almost style by lack of ability, I guess. I don't know if they were shooting for that, but that's what they got for having those teeny tiny budgets.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's another cool thing about the show, like as a show, is that it really is just a bunch of buds with cameras. Writing jokes together and having a good time, but then you can see them improve as, filmmakers as the show goes on. They learn season to season how to make the show look better and how to shoot what they want to shoot. And, the editing gets snappier and I mean, season 5 and 6, I think are just super crisp as far as the way that they edit everything together. There's no fat. It is just exactly what you need. Jump to the next person. The L cuts and J cuts in season 1 and 2 are a little laggy, but then by the time you get into the later seasons, it's a really well put together show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're kind of finding their stride in the first 2 seasons.
Totally.
Yeah,
but also
look at Star Trek Next Generation. Like this show didn't really get good till season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while.
And those were long seasons, too.
Oh, yeah. It's like 22 episodes, 23 episodes. Yeah, it's like
45 minutes long on each. Woo!
Whoa, God. And that whole first season is just like unwatchable. Maybe one episode is watchable, and that's about it.
Yeah, I definitely skip ahead in that one. Same thing happened with Deep Space Nine, or not Deep Space Nine, Voyager. Everyone was like, "You got to watch Voyager," and I really didn't like it until I think season 3 was where I was like, "Okay, now I get it. Now we've got a show."
Is when it finally hits its stride. Yeah,
yeah.
For as many good episodes of Star Trek as there's a bunch of bad ones.
Well, yeah, and that's just
that's
TV. That's part of TV, especially
when you gotta make 42 minutes of content every week.
Right.
You know, and you're on a timetable. It's like, it's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. For every Borg episode, there's also a jump to warp 10 and turn into lizard people.
Or another holodeck episode where we can just film in the parking lot.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's our Letterkenny pitch. If you're familiar with the show, you had a good time. If you're not familiar with the show, go watch it now. And since this is on Patreon, there's a comment section down below. Let us know what gags you'd like to see in a Letterkenny movie. You can drop those in the comments. We'll make mention of them on Twitter at some point, I guess. This episode will probably go up pretty quick after we're done recording.
Oh, yeah, I can edit this super fast.
Yeah, zip zap. No breaks, no nothing. Final thoughts? Who's your favorite Letterkenny character, actually?
Oh, favorite? I mean, I love Wayne, of course. Favorite? The one I never get tired of watching is McMurray.
Yeah.
I know, like, just the gags that surround that guy is just the greatest.
I love the way he talks.
And that's not the way he talks either. Like, that's clearly just a voice he puts on.
He talks through gritted teeth.
I know. Wayne, how are you doing? Yeah, good to see you.
Right. He's I like him. I think Squirrely Dan overall is my favorite. He's the reason that they get into some of the conversations they get into. Yeah. And I like that there's a curiosity with him that really pulls the other characters out of their comfort zones.
Yeah.
His comedy, by the way, is hilarious.
Oh yeah, his stand-up comedy, where he actually in the talent show does a stand-up comedy routine, and they all love it.
I love that in the show, his comedy routine, it's like Larry the Cable Guy or Jeff Foxworthy. He's got like a call sign that everybody learns. Yeah. In real life, his comedy's not like that at all. He's actually kind of a dry comedian, which I think is hilarious. Yeah. For as over the top as he can be on the show, he's got some range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, he loses weight across the show. He's a big boy in season 1, and in the later seasons, he's trimmed down quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because he got married or he got a girlfriend, and she kind of encouraged him to lose some weight. Well, that's good. I mean, he's always going to be a big guy, but he looks healthy now. In season 1, he was his face was even just like, whew.
Yeah,
big boy. Mm-hmm. Proud of him though. Losing weight is tough, so I'm proud of him.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's our Letterkenny pitch. I randomly just thought that up on the spot one day. It was like, yeah, what if the hockey rink got destroyed and everyone has to band together to rebuild it? There you go. Yeah. Collective event.
There you go.
It's like a Robert Altman movie.
The final shot at the hockey rink should be exactly 5,000 people, and then you flash up Letterkenny has 5,000 people, and we fixed one of their problems.
You go. That's how you end it. Yeah.
There you go.
And cut to Shorzy just screaming at Jonesy and Riley, just you know what you end it with? You end the entire credits, plays no music. It's just Jonesy and Riley saying "fuck you, Shorzy," and Shorzy just constantly berating them for no reason.
Oh yeah, credits roll over top.
Yeah,
of
credits
them.
roll over top of them arguing.
Yeah. Actually, if they got arrested somehow at the end of the movie and they're like in the back of a cop car going back and forth,
they're stuck together.
Yeah, handcuffed together. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, it'd be great. Oh yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, that's the Letterkenny pitch. What a good time.
Yeah, good times. Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know any other TV show that we've already done the Community movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else needs a movie at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. As things pop up, maybe we'll find something. This was just a point of shared love between you and I, so...
Yeah. Someday we'll talk about devs. Someday. I got to rewatch it, though.
There we go. We're not even going to... This isn't even a named podcast. This is just for the Patreon people.
This is just Patreon people.
It's selfish that we're going to talk about stuff that we really love, but it is for you guys.
Exactly.
Good trade-off. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for listening.
And that's it for me, too. Thank you for listening.
There we go.
And with that, good night.